You're listening to Curious Cat, a podcast that explores the shadowy space where science and the supernatural collide. And I'm your host, Jennifer Holtz. Join me every week as I examine what it means to be a soul in a meat suit. Welcome to Curious Cat. Today's special guest is a comedian, paranormal investigator, podcast hostess with the mostest, and tarot reader, the fabulous Karen Rontowski. From comedyworks.com and from your website, I found this little intro for you. Karen Rontowski's fast-paced, quirky, and charmingly optimistic comedy has been featured in clubs, TV, radio, and at corporate events all around the world. Her stand-up showcases endearing, self-effacing, and intelligent characters that catch you by surprise every time. Karen uniquely blends comedy with her experience as a paranormal investigator, tarot, and Reiki master. Karen's comedy is now featured in a new line of greeting cards called Frank and Funny, sold at Target stores everywhere, and is the comedy writer for Haunted Magazine. She's a regular on the Bob and Tom Show and is a featured performer on their CD. Karen, welcome to Curious Cat. I'm so excited to talk Tarot 101 with you. How are you?
I am very good. How are you? That is a very old bio, but I'll take it.
You're just glorious. I just didn't want to cut you short because you're so amazing and you just do a little of everything and you do it so well. It's really, I mean, if I were you, I'd just be walking around with this giant ego bubble and be floating around. It's so beautiful.
Well, thank you. And thank you so much for having me. I love your podcast.
Oh, I'm so glad you do. I put my heart into it. I love your podcast. I literally cannot wait for your new episode. And that's tomorrow, my 5K day. I sit and listen to you while I run.
Well, yes. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. How do I make Paul Jasek my best friend is my big thing.
Oh, you just got to call him. He is the nicest guy. Have you had him on your podcast?
No, never. I heard him on yours, I think in your like New Year's prediction show, and then in his own show. And I just absolutely adore him.
Oh, he's the best. He's wonderful. And a really funny stand-up too.
Oh, really? Okay, now I need to check that out as well. Okay, so we are talking Tarot 101, and I just wondered if you could start us off with, how did you dip a toe in tarot way back when?
So I have always been, even since a little kid, I was always into the paranormal and psychics and stuff like that. And even to this day, I'm more confused when someone isn't. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever someone be like, "Oh, you're into all that stuff," and I'm like, "Who isn't?" That's how I always was. And I had seen a couple of psychics in my life, and I had quite a few psychic experiences. And then I met this woman, and I call her my teacher, although I've never taken a class from her, but her name is Jacqueline Valdez, and she started reading for me. She's in Escondido, and she said, you really should get a deck. And so I bought one, and, it's a funny thing. She would teach me little things as she would read for me, like this combination means this, and what does this mean? But I've had, when I was younger, I had two psychics tell me I was in the circus in the past life. And then a third one told me that they didn't believe in past lives, but I should go to the circus. So I actually am wondering if I was a tarot reader in the circus, because I don't get enthused about things. And to this day, I will still go to the library and on the ebooks, take out like any 5 tarot books and just flip through them. Like, I have studied it inside. It's just one of my favorite things in the world.
Oh my gosh, that's how you know that you are drawn to a subject in a past life even. And that was, it's so weird that you said about circus, because I don't profess to have much of a third eye. As you know, it's a little bit calcified, I believe. But But anyway, but I have been getting like circus and big top kind of vibes this whole week before I got to talk to you. So that's crazy.
You're so psychic. First of all, let's stop
I
that.
don't
You're
think so.
so psychic. And you just have to start saying it. You could say, I'm psychic.
Okay.
You wouldn't be around this stuff if you weren't.
Oh, okay. I'm going to own that then.
Yeah.
My daughters, who are hyper, super duper psychic, they were saying that there's like a rule that you're not supposed to buy your own tarot deck. And so we always will go to like Mystical Wares in Mount Vernon, Washington is our
Yes.
favorite store. And they have that whole room of like tarot decks. And so what we're constantly doing is like, I want that one. I'd like the crow deck or whatever. And so we like point to each other and then we like hand each other money at the cash register because we thought it was like a cardinal rule that you couldn't buy your own deck. So tell me about your deck. And is that a bunch of BS about not being able to buy your own?
Well, everybody believes different things. And first of all, shout out to Mystical Wares, which is one of my favorite guests. And Derek is amazing, amazing. I was taught that the cards are pieces of cardboard and that is superstition. But I actually kind of love it as your family ritual. I think you guys should keep that. Unless you go.
Yeah.
So I don't even carry a lot of, other people say nobody touches my deck or anything like that. I've always been taught that it's taking place up here. Now, obviously, like anything you have, if there's bad energy around or a lot of energy, you want to cleanse something. But I'm pretty basic with my deck. So I always try to say what's superstition and what isn't. But I think as a family, that's the cutest thing I ever heard.
We are a little bit of a spectacle when we go to check out because then there's also me as the mama bear because they're both like, young adults. So I just want to like, this is all mine. You thought you were shopping for yourself, but I'm actually paying for everything. And then we have the little struggle. And I think we always make anybody at the cash register like laugh because we're a spectacle. We're ridiculous.
I love it.
So I was going to ask you, so how do you, is there anything that you have to do or a routine that you like to get into the mindset before a tarot reading? And what does that look like?
So a couple of things, because I also do it on stage, and that's a little bit of a different story, but I'll get to that. That's my psychic stand-up show where I do it and I roast people as I read the cards. So there's clips of that up on.
We call that socializing in our family.
Yes. So this is what I teach people because I teach a tarot class where the tarot cards are like pictures where you can put together a story. All you need to do, and some people really differentiate between psychics and tarot card readers. I think mostly psychics because some of them feel a little better than tarot card readers, but I believe it's the same thing. But so the most important thing, especially when you're first starting, is to be able to blank out your mind. I always remember hearing all these psychics talk and stuff about how if you just picture a blank movie screen. That is so hard. So I actually have an exercise that people could do if they can't do this. But basically what you're trying to do is take out all that extra nonsense, all that extra thoughts going through, your looping thoughts, so that the information can just drop in. That's all I do. I used to have to do it like a half an hour before a reading. Now I can pretty much do it in 10 minutes. And sometimes if I'm having a day, I can snap right in. I always tell there's two ways to read the cards. There's on the cards, which is looking exactly at them going, this connects to this, connects to this. And then there's the glance, where you just get the information, and the two working together is phenomenal.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And then I always hear, I don't know much about it at all, but the layouts, do you just go with your instinct for that? Or, what does that look like?
The most thing I use in when I'm reading is I use the Celtic cross. I use that and I read it as a timeline. I read, this is the past, this is the present and what's going on in your head. First, next coming, and then the future. And I always try to put a time frame on it. Like we're going to talk about 2022 or we're going to talk about 2023 so that I can kind of give people, I always tell them to give me a wide berth on time because time's a little hard to nail down, but we sort of get it in that range. So I use that. I use confirmation cards. A lot of times I use the 3 card layout if it's a yes or no, and I use comparisons. Let's say, would I be happier living here or would I be happier living here? And I can do cards for both of them. It really is just where you put your energy, and too much of a system can kind of throw you off, but those all
Yeah.
work for me.
Okay, that's incredible. And you were saying that, and I wondered to myself, is it like tickling where you can't like read for yourself? Like, you know how you can't tickle yourself or whatever that whole silly saying when you're kids, right? So, can you read for yourself? Do you pull a card for yourself? And do you find that that's pretty accurate for like what you're looking towards?
I do a lot of, I think, I'm always surprised when people say that because I always feel like I can, or I feel like you can with tarot. Tarot, if you know the cards, my teacher taught me the cards are always right. The interpreter is what's wrong. Like an example is, I was seeing this guy in Los Angeles, and he was really working out to be perfect. I was like, this is great. What is going on? This is why I don't pull my cards all the time. So then the cards said, you're going to walk away like soon. You're going to walk. I was like, oh no, that's a Mickey Mouse deal. I don't know what that is. Never mind. Right. And sure enough, a week later, something happened and I walked away. And I was like, okay. When I was on the David Letterman show, I said, how's
Yeah.
it going to go? And I got the Tower card, which is like, oh my God, it's like building, imploding, change of event. It's like a drastic card. And I was like, ah. So the night I was supposed to go on, they bumped me. And the next day, the booker called me and said, thank God you weren't here. It was the worst audience in the history of the show. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah, so that tarot card, which looks, it's a card of change and it's card of sudden,
Yeah.
and people don't understand. It's a card. It looks awful. People go, oh my God, if they see it, it's adjusting you on the correct path. So where that was like, oh God, I got bumped again. It was like, no, thank God you got bumped again.
Do you find, is there anything that you have to do? Because people come to you. So I will let the listeners in on it that I scheduled a reading with you, and it was so amazing. I'd never had a tarot reading before. And I'd only ever in my life had one psychic reading. And she said that be careful of psychic vampires my whole life, which was really interesting. I know, right? But I felt like it was bought off because the person I was with was my best friend and he secretly loved me. I didn't know.
Oh,
So I think that he just like gave her some money on the side to say that because he didn't like who I was dating.
oh,
But your tarot, it was like the most amazing reading. And you, you did ask, do you want me to look at these different things? Which of course I did. And then you dove into it. But do you find, because it's voluntary, people are finding you on your website, they're scheduling the reading, that they probably don't come with a big wall on them, like a protection on them. But do you have to do anything to kind of drop that guard, put those guardrails down on that person that you're reading to see them better?
That's a funny thing because usually I don't. You're right. People are coming to me when I do my psychic stand-up show. Sometimes I have to really rely on it. But as I go back to 2 things, which is as my reader said, the cards are always right. So just do what you can.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I never thought of it this way. And then my friend Elaine said to me, don't you hate when people give gift certificates? And I was like, no, that's new clients. What do you? And she's like, yeah, but if they're not into tarot, they're like, what do I do with this? And then immediately someone calls with a gift card and is like, no one can read me. And once someone says no one can read me, that means they have that wall up. But I
Yeah.
think that reading went okay. But you're absolutely right because people that go to psychics and tarot readers are psychic somehow. They just are. They can
Yeah.
say they're not. They can say they don't even know where their car keys are, but they are. But if it's kind of forced on someone, which doesn't mean please feel free to buy a gift certificate. But
Right.
if usually it comes if they're like, my friend told me about her reading and I'm so excited, that's pretty good. But yeah, people can block you.
Okay, I was wondering about that, or if they have no-go zones in their life. They're like, I know, because I think a lot of people have a psychic sense of like, okay, this relationship is imploding, but I don't really need you to say it out loud to me because I'm not ready to hear it yet. And they'll put up a little mini wall, I feel like.
Yeah, and also every once in a while, the cards will sort of do a this is none of your business. They'll keep repeating the same thing. Like when I say, let me take this out a little further. Like, is this going to work out in this relationship? It's not looking too good. Let me take it out a little further. Nope. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And I go, and that's when you kind of know it's up to the person, because we all have free will. And so that's why I do like I compare. I could say, you want to see how it is here? You want to see how it is there? When someone comes to see me, they're seeing the trajectory that they're on right now. That's the part that I feel like they can change that. As a trajectory goes, the more you change it, the further out it goes different. But it usually is a big help to show them, which is why if it is I don't really believe in bad cards or warnings, but I can say, hey, this is coming up, and they can divert it. Or like having a big fight with someone, they can say, oh, I heard in your head, this was the fight we were having, and it was so much less because I knew that. But the most interesting thing to me is how many ladies that want to get pregnant come to me and they say, we've been trying, we can't. What is it? And I'll either get, I don't see the problem. There's not just keep trying. Or one lady, I was like, I think you're pregnant now. And she called, and the next week she found out she was pregnant. And I wonder if subconsciously I'm giving them permission.
Yeah. I think you are as well.
Yeah.
I think you are. Yeah, you need that affirmation somehow. And I don't know why we're trained. That's a societal thing, probably. We're looking for outside affirmation. Yeah. I think you do as well. Well, and also, it's interesting what you're saying about the free will piece, because this week has been this weird deep dive for me about Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet.
Yes.
I got on the treadmill. So I was in Fort Bragg. Funny story. You had just read My Mom, which was so cute. And so I got to gossip about that. But then, and so everywhere we were looking for Italian men, because she was like, Karen said there's a guy in my life and I don't need a love life. No. I told her it was giving me the vapors and, and please don't, it's giving me scurvy. What are you doing? And then she's like, ooh, this, like, we'll be driving around town. And then this guy almost ran into the front of our car. And she goes, did he look Italian to you? But anyway, I kept getting this name on my phone because I was using this app on my phone when we were going to cemeteries. I kept getting Eddie, and then Edgar. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I was running on the treadmill when I came home, my first run after being home. And, what comes on Art Bell tapes, and it's Edgar Cayce Jr. And so I've been doing this deep dive about him, long way of getting around to the question. And he is all about, I don't like to be called a prophet, because prophet means predicting the future, and the future is fluid. It is ever changing, and it goes to that free will piece. So it's really great that you're talking about trajectory, like where you're headed as of right this moment that I'm reading the cards.
Yes, yeah, and also I do agree with him. I think the way I think that we have bullet points that we're going to hit in our life, and how you get to that bullet point. Let's say you're going to be a famous podcaster. How you get there, you could be, oh, I hate this and I can't stand it and I'm only going to do a few, and then all of a sudden it happens and you're not ready. Or you can enjoy it all the way and then it happens. So there's a lot to that. I have a very interesting, you will love this, because
what?
Edgar, you and I do the deep dives into angels, right? Like right now.
Yes, we totally do. I know, me too.
I'm all about Anubis, which isn't an angel, but it was like, and now black dogs are everywhere. Right?
My God, I dreamt about a black dog, and I was literally taking care of a black dog last week. And I was like petting and taking care of this black dog that'd been neglected. Okay. Now I have to write this down. Anubis. Okay. So, oh my gosh.
So, but I forget. That was just, I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. I love talking to you. So,
Oh my God, that's how I am too. Oh my
so
God. Well, it's like Anubis, and Anubis is like goes back to the Egyptians, right?
yes. And I'm working on my mediumship. My mediumship is just okay. It's not like my tarot. I don't mind charging for tarot because that's what I do. I got it. But mediumship, I'm like not comfortable enough to
Okay, sorry,
put it up.
BS card. Your mediumship is amazing.
Well,
So
thank
when because I got to witness it during my reading with you. And then, of course, because my kids weren't there to tell me, no, mom, hell no, don't let them, I don't want to be read. And then all of a sudden you were like, I'm feeling your youngest is looking at schools and maybe to transfer like a new degree. And Bryn's like going, I'm literally filling out transfer paper
oh,
work right now for another university. Like, I'm seeing something sunny. And she's like, that would be Florida art school or whatever. So, okay. But whatever, your mediumship is amazing to
well,
me. But
well,
okay, you're
thank
working on it.
yes. Well, I'm working on, I want to get to a place where people can call me and go, "Hey, my mother passed away a year ago. Can you tell me this? Can you talk to her?" I don't, it rarely, sometimes it happens. Sometimes there was one woman I was talking to and I was like, "Who's this guy?" And it was her dad. And it turned into a mediumship reading, but it was kind of a spontaneous, I don't know how to do
Mhm.
it. So I'm learning. So Anubis is
Yeah.
was the god of the underworld and the dead. So that's what I was reading about because I was like, and I have a friend that's a demonologist and I double check everything
Yeah.
with him because, and he was
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's a good one for you to get in touch with because he's a fatherly figure and
Yes.
and you have to honor the dead. So I want to ask him if he'll help me learn how to talk to the dead. So, and that's a whole
Oh.
nother, yeah. But
Oh my gosh. Well, it's so interesting because we are going deep dive into angels because I've been obsessed with angels too. And I'll like sit and I'll meditate for a little bit and go, what name comes forward? And that's how I'm
Mhm.
finding the new angel. And I'm like, I didn't even know these names before. So it's like, it's just like nice confirmation that I'm hearing something. But it
Your
was so
channeling
weird.
is fantastic.
I don't
Fantastic.
know. It must be. I'm getting better at it. But there was this exercise that this one, teacher was saying is like, try to get in touch with your guardian angels. So this may freak you out. But I was like channeling, who are my guardian angels? And it said that I had 5. I kept getting the number 5. And one of them said, Baphomet misses you the most. Baphomet? And then I started looking it up and it's like considered like this, like if you've ever seen this really spooky, yucky looking demon with the big things. And I'm like, I'm vibing with it because it kind of offsets probably my, Michael and my Uriel. And so I'm realizing we're all darkness and light. And
Mhm.
it was kind of crazy that it was like Baphomet misses you most. And I'm like, oh, okay. I spent some time down in the dungeon there
And
apparently. And
and all and Baphomet is the devil card in tarot, and in tarot, the
yeah.
devil card is
Oh, I
what you
didn't know
bring to
that.
yourself.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I didn't know that. Wait, so Baphomet is the tarot card,
Well, it's the
and
same
he's
symbol, yes,
yeah.
and the devil card is about what we do to ourselves, whether it's guilt or shame or low self esteem, and it's actually a I'll give you a little. I'll do angels, and then I'll give you a really quick tarot lesson. So,
Yeah.
so I was looking into the dark side of angels and Edgar
Yeah.
Casey, because you read about I was reading a book about John Dee and how they were kind of the first to do, I can never say this word, Enochian magic, and
Yeah.
how at one point they got all this information and the angels kind of turned on them and like told them they should be wife swapping, and then it all went bad. So I'm like,
Yeah.
well, what is that? And now Edgar Casey did a channeling one time where he came out of it and his people said, whoever that was, don't ever talk to them again. You scared us to death. And it's very rarely talked about, but you can look that up and see. It's like an interesting, because I actually think this is what happened to Doreen Virtue. She was all
Ah,
in this but she never practiced protection. And I think something got in and scared her. Which,
I
by the
think
way,
you're right about that.
yeah,
That feels so right. And it scared the crap out of her. And then she started being, no offense,
Christian, yeah,
but
nothing,
she
nothing.
clung to the Bible. Yeah. It was like a protection almost, like, she would never do that again. But she kind of bragged about not putting protections on herself, didn't she, before she did all that?
I think she did, but it's always, here's the thing. You have to be so, this is why I love that my first step into the paranormal was another one of my mentors, Tommy, who was doing this since a kid. And he's so like, he's dealt with the worst of the worst. If people have troubles in their house, they email me and I consult with him. And then I tell them, like, he doesn't work in it anymore,
Hmm.
but he helps me to help people. And
Hmm.
in fact, he and I are thinking of doing a protection class on my website. But
Fantastic. Sign me up. I'm there.
he gets the strangest text messages from me. Tommy, what is this? And, Tommy, I think this happened. But it's kind of
Everybody
great
needs a
because
friend like that.
yes,
Everybody needs a friend like that.
and the last time I said, okay, so this is what happened, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to cleanse like this, and I'm going to do this. And he wrote back and he goes, I don't think you even need me anymore. And I was like, oh no, I need you
Yeah.
very much. Because when we're dabbling in this, it is not all
Yeah.
safe. So if Edgar
Yeah.
Casey can run into a guy,
Hmm.
they can. So on tarot,
Yeah.
there's a card called the Hierophant, and that is actually a pope, and he represents religion and structure. And then there's a card called the Lover's card, which is where your male and female side get together. So the Devil card is the bottom of it is the Lover's card, and the devil is sitting mocking the Hierophant. He is sitting exactly like the Hierophant, and he is you see the two people in the Lover's card are chained to a rectangle. And a rectangle in tarot means a lie, a square means the truth. I know this is how
Wow.
nerdy I am about this.
Oh my God, that's so interesting.
So when you see the two people chained to the rectangle, you also see they could lift those chains off at any time and leave, but they don't, because we are so attached to our victimhood or our guilt or our shame. So every time they leave that on, the devil gets bigger. But it does look like that, Baphomet.
Oh my
I think I
gosh.
said
But
it
at the
wrong.
same, I know, I think I probably said it wrong too. No offense. But I feel like that's the same way too. And again, it makes sense because you said the devil card is what we do to ourselves, which is absolutely how often do we just like we're, experiencing growth and then something's inhibiting us from that. And then we're like, oh God, it was me. When I started this whole thing, it was like I didn't even think that I was indoctrinated, but you can't not be indoctrinated in Western culture. And I was like, oh, I used to think good and evil, and these were like in boxes and you could be one or the other. And it's like, just blew my mind when I realized we're all of those things and all of those things are good because the darkness is in us, pushes us, to outside of our comfort zone, and all that just like really resonates. And of course, he's mocking them, the lovers, because he's like, you could take those chains off anytime,
But
but
they
you just like the lie. You're
yeah.
in love with the lie.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. And then what's interesting is the rectangle they're sitting on turns into the tower card. They are two cards next to each other. So
Hmm.
then the tower card is a tower with no doors because you're locked into your lie. And then God comes and blasts it like you're not living like that anymore.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I was going to ask you. So in my reading, I just loved it because I don't know if you saw anything that was like somebody would connote as like negative or whatever, but it felt very uplifting. It was so positive. It was
Mhm.
so forward thinking. And it made me just more excited. I was full of energy after the reading. My mother, even though she had little walls of like, oh, no, we're not going to talk about the lover. Wait, Italian? And then, so then we came up with the perfect scenario. Well, she's going to travel in Europe based on
Yeah.
your reading, and she's going to run across a man that happens to be gay, and he really would love her companionship on.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, that'd be perfect." And maybe I should brush up on Italian,
Yeah.
So, but they were super positive. But I'm wondering, first of all, has there ever been a time that you're reading somebody and you went, "Ooh, I just can't do this anymore," and you just kind of had to stop it? Like
Um,
midway?
No, and it was so funny. Your mother was so funny because I was like, "Is there something wrong with your ankle?" And she's like, "No." Wait a minute. You know what I mean? Like she would go, no, no, wait a minute. And then, yes, there is something wrong. But there is a real thing called psychic amnesia. And I've even been, when you're reading for
Oh.
someone, and I've even done this myself, where somebody was reading for me, like, your friend showed up and she's showing you all your crystals. And I was like, that's every friend I had. My best friend that died on my birthday, I had given her all my crystals before she passed away. And it was like, that's who, and it took me a second because it just, you're not thinking, you know what I mean? It's so random. But
Yeah, yeah.
there's, so I will tell people, in fact, sometimes I take a deep breath and I will tell them, and it's usually around relationships or,
Mhm.
I try not to scare people because people can get
Yeah.
scared very easily, but usually, like you did my reading, usually like 15, 20 minutes in, they're not scared anymore. And we're doing this. And
Mm-mm.
they may ask me and I'll have to go, I don't think this is the person for you, or,
Mhm.
ooh, be careful here. Be very careful
Mhm.
here. I'll definitely give like that. And I'll say, even if I was like, boy, there's a big change coming at work and I want you to be watching out for your job, and then I'll go, we'll
Mhm.
see if there's something coming after. So I'll try and make it better. But because it is better, it's happening because it should. So
Yeah.
that's how you have to
Mhm.
explain it. And then sometimes
Yeah.
I'm even like, hopefully I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, you can have your money back.
Mhm.
But the one that, and I teach this in my class, that's very important is how you talk to pregnant ladies, because you
Oh.
cannot plant any seed that this is going to miscarry or anything. I would rather um, give a very general reading, encouraging, rather than
Mhm.
saying this doesn't look good. I would give a general reading, and I
Mhm.
would rather do that
Yeah.
than there was only one friend where I was like, it's right. She was much older and she kind of knew, and the miscarriage was right there. And she's a
Yeah.
yes or no person like me. And
Yeah.
she wasn't sure. So it was very different
Yeah.
from someone that,
It
but
was okay.
yes,
Yeah.
but
You were like in the sacred circle, so you were okay to do that. Yeah.
yes. And here's a mistake I made. And I teach this in my class because what you want to learn from is my mistakes. So
Mhm.
my friend's daughter had,
That's my whole way of doing life.
yes, exactly.
That's how I raised my daughters. Learn from my mistakes.
Exactly. So my friend's daughter had so many ovarian cysts, like a ridiculous amount, that they told her she was never going to have kids. And I was like, "You're having two kids. You're having two kids. You're having two kids." So she has all these different problems and miscarriages. And one day she calls me and she's like, "I'm pregnant. Is this it?" And I was like, "You're having two kids." And she had the Tower card, which actually is the miscarriage card. And don't read for yourself if you're pregnant.
No,
Don't,
I would say
don't.
no too to
Yeah.
that. No way.
And I said, well, this doesn't, and she said, I'm going to miscarry again, aren't I? And I said, well, it kind of looks like that, but you're going to have two kids. So here's what happened. Here's how she changed it. Or this is what I got wrong. When the Tower card is in your head, that's when it is great. It means I'm done with this crap. I'm changing
Mhm.
everything. She didn't
Mhm.
have it in her head, but she had it close to there. And what she did was she was like, I told her, I go, listen, just do everything as you would, just keep going
Mhm.
because you can bypass this. And I even
Mhm.
felt guilty. I should have just told her she's bypassing it. But what
Yeah.
happened, which she called and thanked me for, is she straightened out her diet. She straightened out her husband. She was like, I'm not working for you. You're getting it at this and that. They straightened out their life. They got a house that the kids would fit in, and she had the kid.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, and then they had a
Ah.
second kid, and then she was like, "That's enough."
Yeah. The baby factory's closed.
Yes, but it was, this is the other thing. Medical science, I'm just not, I can't,
Me
they're
neither.
constantly telling women they're not going to have kids, and it's a lie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I remember growing up and they said, "Oh, nobody has kids past 30," and now it's kind of the norm. Yeah. So I know they just don't know. They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It's like the Edgar Casey, it's like the free will thing. I mean, we can't predict the future. We're on a certain trajectory, but
Yep.
things have changed so much that we can't really say that anymore.
Yep.
So is there anybody living or dead that you would love to read their cards?
Oh, interesting. Well, my favorite, you're too young to know. My favorite comedian in the
Not.
world is Gracie Allen. So I would have
Oh,
to choose
yes.
anything that would connect me to Gracie Allen.
I feel like she would just make you laugh. It would like you'd have to be, doing your reading on a wee wee pad so that you could
Yes,
just laugh and kind of pee a little. I'm sorry,
absolutely.
the over 50s, we all understand that. But
Yes.
yes, no, that would be really great. That would be a great reading.
Yeah.
And anybody's reading, if they came to you and they said, I want you to read my cards, that you would kind of refuse them. I don't want to read your cards.
Yes, but it's more on that would be more on, there's very few people I really dislike, but there's
Yeah.
kind of a famous comic that was so horrible to me that I could picture him coming up and going, hey, my girlfriend wants to read, we saw your show. And I would say no, because I don't like him.
Oh, but I think that's good. That's a respect thing because you're not putting it out there. Because actually, you're deciding to like invest energy with him if you did the reading too.
Right.
So tell people, and I want to know about this, your shows, your live shows where you're doing the tarot reading. And does everybody know what you're doing before they come in? So they're like, oh, and do you get skeptics? Like, what does that look like?
Well, so it's on the whole show. It's always different every time because it's reading people's cards. So it's a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go on my TikTok, a lot of clips are there and on my Instagram, but my Instagram's got a lot of stuff on it. So if you want to go to my TikTok, which is just at Rontowski, and there's a whole bunch of stuff on there, but you'll see the ones marked Psychic Stand Up. And I have a CD out. You can get it at CD Baby. It's called
Great.
Up the Valentine's edition. It was a whole Valentine's show. And then if people sign up for my email list, I'm getting very nervous because people are getting hacking Instagram and Facebook.
I know.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to point everyone to my email list. So if you go, I only send out about 4 a year. And the Psychic Stand-Up Show, I just did it at Zany's in Chicago. And the week before I was in Ann Arbor, Skyline Comedy doing it. And I'll be doing it February in Utica, and I do it all over the place. So you want to get on my email list to find out where you are. And also, if you go on my email list, sign up, you can get 50% off my tarot class if you like.
Oh, which that would be that's the best way I feel like to learn tarot, right? Everything about it. Okay, so do they go to www.karenrontowski.com to get added to your email list?
Yes, you can go to, and I also own paranormalkaren.com, which is the podcast. If that's easier to remember, I thought maybe not, or rontowski.com. I bought all of them and pointed them all at the same thing. Psychicstandup.com. Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that's so great. Well, I'm so glad you took time out to spend with us on Curious Cat and teach us a little something. And I feel a lot less weird about my Baphomet thing after talking to you. I feel strangely comforted because I'm like, he misses me. Well, maybe I've been working through my shit. So he's like, I miss you lamenting and hating yourself or whatever the things were that I was holding on to.
And also, if people are having trouble with something in their house or something is bothering them that's paranormal, they can email me and I will, like I said, I'll consult. It's a little bit of a process, but we'll help you out.
Oh, that's wonderful.
For
And
free. For free.
Oh my gosh. Well, and I can't recommend a Karen Rontowski tarot reading more. I mean, it's like 10 out of 10. Oh my, it was incredible. Well, thanks so much. And hopefully we'll get to talk soon.
Awesome.
Thank you for listening to Curious Cat. If you like the content, stories, and information, I'd be grateful if you could like and review us on your favorite streaming service. It will help others find us as well. Huge gratitude for my art director and audio engineer. If you're in need of either of those services, please find their links in the show notes. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, stay curious. I love you.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you looking for a new podcast that appeals to your scientific curiosity, but is also a little bit spooky?
Show me how I died in a past life.
Well, look no further, because this cat is where it's at.
He had concerns about the ethics surrounding AI, feeling they had achieved consciousness.
Curious Cat Podcast examines the shadowy space where science and the supernatural collide. Listen every week with your host, Jennifer Holtz, as she and her guests explore what it means to be a soul in a meat suit.
We were healing karma together. They were all kind of predestined to resolve something.
Listen on all your favorite streaming apps and continue the conversation on Twitter at CuriousCatPodCA, or find Jennifer and all her links at Jennifer L. Holtz, spelled HOTES.com.